Good evening. It's good to see you all this evening. For those that do not know me, I'm Carter Wilson. I attend the evening service as Sunday mornings I lead communion services for the residents at La Loma Health and Rehab Center just up the street. But this evening I've been asked to talk to you about planned giving. St. Peter's has just celebrated its 60th anniversary, and you should all be proud of that fact. My family joined St. Peter's in 1965, 6 months after it was founded as a mission. Mother was a founding member of the ECW and the Daughters of the King. My father served on the vestry and as church treasurer for several years. He loved singing, but he could only sing one note. I know some of you still remember the early years when the church survived financially month to month, and it was not uncommon for the rector to go from house to house asking members if they could please give just a little bit more, or at least pay their pledge ahead of time. The point is that we haven't changed all that much in 60 years. The Red Card campaign that we recently conducted kept our operating fund within reach of a balanced budget. But the bigger point that I want to make this evening is that none of this would have been necessary if we had established a planned giving program 60 years ago, or 20 years ago, or even 10. Not once in our 60-year history has this parish given serious thought to planned giving, creating endowments, or remembering St. Peter's in our estate planning. But as they say, it's better late than never.
Amen.
And immediately following the annual meeting, we formed a planned giving committee as part of the parish resource committee. While I have not always lived in Litchfield Park, I've always considered St. Peter's to be my home church. My parents are still a part of St. Peter's, interned in the columbarium, along with a favorite aunt, my youngest brother, and my dear wife, Gail. And eventually, I will be there too. I have a son and 2 daughters living in Idaho, but there's a 4th member of my family right here, you, the congregation and parish of St. Peter's. When Gail passed 2 years ago, you literally saved my life. I could never have survived without the assistance and generosity of the members of St. Peter's and my congregation at La Loma. Thank you seems so inadequate, but it's all that I have to offer. I sometimes think back to the 1964 musical Fiddler on the Roof and the song, "If I Were a Rich Man." Yes, there are many things that I could do. I could pay for a new school building. I could endow all of our outreach programs. There are so many things. But short of winning the lottery, which I only play once a year, I will never be that rich man that Tevye sang about. I learned at least 2 things as an 18-year-old college freshman. Number 1, it's the least expensive time for you to buy life insurance.
Amen.
Number 2, you need to have a last will and testament unless you want the state to decide how your estate will be divided. And you'll be surprised at how different states divide your estate. As a professional researcher, I cannot tell you the number of hours that I've spent in locating lost beneficiaries for courts in Idaho, Virginia, and Nebraska for someone who died intestate. In one case, state law required me to locate descendants of the grandparents of the deceased, and they had 14 children and more than 140 descendants entitled to share in the estate. And by the time the monies were distributed, I earned considerably more from my research fees than any of the beneficiaries. Our legacy is what we leave behind, but you don't need to be rich to leave a rich legacy.
Amen.
In addition to a bequest in your will, there are other ways to give for the future: charitable remainder trust, charitable gift annuities, and many others. The Episcopal Church Foundation can assist in any estate planning, and in the coming year, I hope the Planned Giving Committee can provide you with any information necessary to assist in your own estate planning. Like many, most of my wealth is tied up in the value of my residence, which I could not afford to buy today. And yes, my legacy is my 3 wonderful children, and I will take care of them and their needs when the Lord sees fit that it is my time. But I will also see to the needs of the other member of my family, St. Peter's. It may not be much in the scheme of things, but if we all make a commitment to support St. Peter's financially in our estate planning, our legacy and the future of the parish will be secure. That's the easy part. Now the committee needs to organize, establish goals, and plan a campaign for the year. So I ask you to consider St. Peter's in your future estate planning and consider the information that the committee will prepare this year. If you need more information on estate planning, please feel free to contact me after the service, or you can contact me or the committee through the church office. Thank you very much, and have a blessed evening.
Thank you.